Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me. Polina here talking to you about May. Good morning from Tulum. Here we are. It is now the 27th of April. Okay, let's get excited. Let's get excited. Also, yes, if you are on the lookout for your particular sign, take a look at the links below and all will be provided, all will be revealed. So thank you. Okay, so the month of May to me feels like one of those unrequited and requited wishes coming to. As I've said, with this Pluto and Saturn retrograde, especially with Pluto, there are going to be things coming back, and there's going to be a natural sort of karmic swing of things. We're not going to get there until it is time, also with Saturn here. And Jupiter suggests that things are coming from the back, from behind, and also some overdue accounts being paid and overdue feelings being seen. The craziest thing about it is that we sometimes don't want it when we have it. The wishes that we could have had a long time ago are coming together. The people that perhaps we had an eye on for a long time, like even many centuries, are coming together. Some of the greatest wishes, even from beyond our own generations, beyond our grandparents, even are coming true. So this is truly the fruiting of the ages. We are going through a certain type of golden period, I believe, here, as we are slowly, kindly evoking a new era and a new sort of atmosphere for it all. A whole new world is coming to light. And a lot of what we have not paid and have not taken care of is also going to come to the surface to be addressed. And yes, I've said this many times in the previous months. The pig year is kind of like layers of skin, and as one is ready, the older layers are falling out, falling away, and the new layer is coming through. So this interesting flaking strategy that the pig year has got is truly showing itself now, and you can perhaps see how you perhaps didn't know, didn't think, didn't want, or like even forgot that something was owed to you, forgot how to dream, or you forgot that you've done or said something, and now it is all coming true. So it's not so much with us all in the realms of instant karma as it has been for a while. So karma was more and more intense and intensive. It perhaps was something that came through over a week or just 1 month. Now karma is coming back from way beyond the veil, from way beyond, and some of us are being truly and fully fulfilled through our ancestors and through our ancestral lines. And there are a lot of people also exploring themselves through the dark, through the depth, as something from way back when can come back or emit itself to the surface. Also in terms of diseases and in terms of parasites and all those things that we've held on to for a long time, it will now be obvious, or it is now a good time to deal with these things. And things that we have not yet addressed inside ourselves, also physically, mentally, emotionally, on any level, are going to now come to light. And I believe this is the best month, better than ever, to do a cleanse, to pray things off, to also understand that perhaps you wished for something that you didn't actually want to come true, or you have been part of a cycle of wishes or a cycle of humans that have wanted or devised or somehow intended on a thing or two that never really needed to become. And yes, it is important to from now on be very, very careful, or just in general be very careful with manifestation. What you ask for manifests here. What you ask for manifests on some level. And even if you're not perhaps ready for it now, it will carry on and continue manifesting for others. It's very, very important here to be clear and to realize what you have karmically wanted to happen and what you have been waiting to do or waiting to create. And for some of us, it's already happening. We're already recognizing that our wishes were very small before. We were very narrow-minded about how we saw love, or narrow-minded about how we saw truth. And now we have these kind of like surfacing opportunities. But the one thing that we have to here consider is time and also meter, because some of these opportunities will not be here for long. Some of them are just a glimpse, or some of them are just a reflection of the all, and perhaps will very quickly return to the past, very quickly return to the cauldron of eternity if we don't take care of them. So, for example, if you have never thought you would finally have the time to become a stand-up comedian or something like this, and you have like a friend reaching out to you, or two friends, especially look for multiples, like multiple people wanting the same thing, or multiple people paying attention to you for the same reason. So you have a multiple of people, say 3 or 4 people that work in that business, and it's all matching up. Please take a look at the environments that are offered to you, the doors that are open to you now. And yes, sometimes it might take a month to evolve something very far, very quickly. And on occasion, it will take just one day and one bad word, or just one bad energy, and the whole door will be closed, and suddenly those 3 or 4 people are no longer responsive, or that timeline is no longer there. So cook these hot cakes very fast. If you are especially receiving a phenomena of multiplicity, and I've talked about this earlier actually with a few people, multiplicity during this year is a very interesting phenomena. So for example, you have multiple people calling you, you have multiple companies interested in you, you've got multiple people interested in investment with you or investing into you. There has to be seen phenomena here. So for example, yes, I've said that, twin flames return or something. I don't really believe in that theory, but that's the message I'm getting. So like twin flames, or like true love connection, can be very true during this time. And also you can have multiple partners, multiple people, and it's really hard sometimes to tell them all apart. It's just important to kind of see that yes, some of us will have a chance of a lifetime, and some of us won't. For some of us, it'll be just almost there, but we can't grasp it. And for some people, it's because they're not ready. And I've said this before about the moon that we had actually recently, that for some people it is not important to get all the ducks in a row right now, because some of us are just simply not ready for this. And for some, love comes very quickly here and can go very far. For some, opportunities here are monumental, and some of us are at a brink of like a 6 or 7 year cycle. And for many people, there are going to be unchangeable or unchanging strategies or unchanging starts. And for some of us, I believe there's going to be things that are going to be set in the ether that we just have to learn to accept. I feel that there is perhaps like a person next to you, a person that is coming back from the past that is just saying, call me anytime, I'm always here. Maybe there is some money coming through in a secret account or from a secret account, or in some kind of weird, magnificent way, and you don't have to perhaps have it now. It's just important to know that it's there for you. For some people, there's going to be an opportunity that perhaps lasts and lasts, and for other people, there's going to be billions, trillions of just small things that are coming true, small things that are coming to light. For example, you go to the store, you find the bracelet that, for example, you lost one time, but like say your grandmother gave you an identical bracelet, or say you are, listening to music on Spotify, and just the right song comes on at the right time. So for those people, there is also momentum. So how luck manifests for you, and how it is seen, it is your choice. So for some people, it's going to be like the choice of having many, many little things come true, many promises answered, or many dreams just, coming to light. And for other people, it will be long, outdated even opportunities. It will be long gone things, but please consider how you use this timeline. I would suggest consider this proportionally. Yes, for a few of you, perhaps you have a generational desire to sing, and you've never ever had a stage until now. Or maybe for a few of you, you might have a generational, like say you have like a generational or even ancestral. For some reason also, yeah, ancestral desire to do something, and here it is, and it's coming to the surface. Like you've always wanted to be a craftsman. And now's the opportunity, and perhaps you're getting a lot of clients, or you're getting a lot of yeses. from the world. So it's about these yeses and these kind of like winks from life, like a little wink from life. Like you've always wanted this, wanted this all the time. But here's the really interesting phenomena that happens sometimes. You've got the underdog phenomena. Some people cannot accept it, cannot trust it, and cannot like, oh, it's sad. Yeah, it is really sad. It's like they cannot trust it. It's like, when you get a dog or a cat, any animal that's been abused for a long time, and then you give it food or give it shelter or give it affection, and sometimes it cannot possibly accept it at this point because it is not ready or it is not knowing how. And this is the weird part about May for me, I believe, is that some people will not return. Some of these opportunities are going to wash off and aid the generation of new opportunities or a new sense of luck. And some of us, this is really weird, we'll have to see that we've been wishing on a very low level, or like we've been wanting things on a very low scale or a very kind of uninteresting spectrum. And then for other people, it'll be like, please accept this now. If you don't accept this, when? If not now, then when? So like for those of us that are actually ready and it feels so good, that's why the yum and yuck response was very important during Aries, because now you can kind of see which way you want it, and perhaps it's really hard to see whether it is an outdated dream that is meant to be washed off, or if it is sometimes, that global dream that you're actually meant to be part of. The point here is, not to fluster yourself. The point here is to know that some of us will perhaps miss out or miss the point or may not be ready for something that is true. And for others, I believe there's going to be a very, very interesting way in which life gives you a funny array of things that you wished for perhaps many lives or many generations and just many, many moods. And then after you get all those things, you might laugh. There might be a hidden irony behind it all, because we've got Jupiter, Pluto. We'll also have Uranus going retrograde soon, and Saturn's retrograde as well. Because we have all of this happening, it is really, really funny. It's really ironic. So, for example, you really, really wanted something, and somebody gives it to you, nature gives it to you, or you just handed it. And then when you look at it, it's not really what you wanted. You just wanted the picture, not the actual outcome and such. It is really, really funny. And then you have to basically be blessed with that and not be, like a kid on Christmas Day opening, his or her present saying, oh, this is not what I wanted, the wheels are weird on this truck, or like, I want a new iPhone. Why did you get me an old iPhone? Like all of that stuff. So presents, it's like Christmas time a little bit. Presents from life. It's a very abundant, earthy time. And if we are not really with it, if we're not feeling lucky, if we're not feeling agile, if we are not feeling also youthful enough or open enough to forgive and forget and just get going, like move on with these new strategies, move on with this new brilliant time that perhaps is like now or never type of time. Move towards the light, move towards the great things. If we can't do that now, then what are you waiting for? And here is where Pisces was a perfect time to really count your losses. This is sometimes why we have to cry. This is sometimes why we have to plead, where we sometimes have to pray. We have to say, I'm sorry. Thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you. Like we have to do that sometimes in order to forgive and forget, and to make sure that the old opportunity spectrum or the outdated phenomena is not following us back into the future. The point here is that, yes, some of us are not quite ready, not quite real enough to admit that we want it. Or to trust that life has it for us, or to trust that this new person, this presence or opportunity is it. And it is hard sometimes also for those people that are still yet uncried or still yet unsure. And then those opportunities that are handed to us can be only kind of like skimmed sometimes or not seen. So please, I hope that you have processed enough trauma in the previous years. I hope that you've done your inner work, and I hope that you have completed a lot of cycles, because here in this particular type of month, it will show. It shows. If you haven't done the work, if you're still not sure, if you're still upset about your ex, too upset about your past, to make sure that the future is bright, if you're still holding a grudge against your parents, so a parent you will not be, or you are trying to obstruct or abstain yourself from what is happiness, And sometimes we don't quite know what is happiness. We are looking at Instagram, we're looking at Facebook, we're looking at celebrities, we're looking at Kim Kardashian, her sister, like we're looking at all these people and we think that is what happiness is. That is where truth is. That's not where truth is. That's not happiness. That is marketing. And I feel that a lot of us actually like dying out now on Instagram and other media because we can see what it is actually, and it is not really what perhaps it used to be for us. We can see a veneer, like we can see like a picture, like a fake picture. I feel a little bit better than we did before, and I feel that no matter like who you are, where you are, because of this incredible increase in sensitivity during Taurus in a pig year, I feel we might be able to taste it, we might be able to smell it, we might be able to really understand or kind of like sense what true fear is, what true love is, what true needs are, like what is the true meaning of happiness. And this is a very beautiful down to earth, like coming back to earth. I believe that we're going to finally experience here, and a real true value system that's not based on some carrot in front of a donkey, some kind of like star far away, some kind of a tunnel vision. We're going to, I hope, now present ourselves with the most beautiful, perfect future based on our own senses and sensitivities. But unless you've done the work, sometimes these are not sure. So, for example, if you were taught by a family to get in line, to wait, to work hard, to be humble, to be perhaps diminished by your peers or diminished by you. And here we are, in this incredible May. You might not be able to fully speak out or reach out for that prize, or to be able to have the full capacity to maybe even push in and accept finally and say, yes, that's me. I'm not worried. This is going to be me. So opportunities are for the optimistic and also for the sensitive and the sensible. And yeah, strong people are truly born during this time this year. Strong people, strong because they're sensitive, and at the same time they know what they want. So it's like being sensitive and kind and being very gracious and generous, and also on the other hand being very particular and very, very strong about your commute, and knowing what you do and do not want, and what you do and do not accept as a human. And sometimes what you do and do not accept is not actually really about you, your tastes, or your family line, what they've been taught, what they have been accepting over time. It's actually more just about you and your own choice, and also your own value, and that value reflecting the quantum whole. The quantum whole of all values through space and time as one person's choice. One's person's choices sometimes during a pig year can manifest in a huge way, and they can actually affect the consciousness of many, many, many people. During this particular time, you will see how one person's opinion sometimes can dilute a huge amount of opinions of others. One person's voice can silence many. There is something about this time where the truth particle, I wouldn't say, like the true quantum presence, can dilute millions of others. The true quantum love that can dilute all else you've had before. The truth, the big moment can silence the rest. That one person can close up all the doors with others, or that one opportunity or that one system can actually finally finish and finalize a whole cycle of sequencing that you didn't have to do. So millions of things minimized. So many and few. This is what I talked about before, but on the opposite scale of this, big process, a big sort of start and stop sequencing, mess. A big mess can actually be here diluted and really put into a pristine, nice energy, into a nice level of connection with you and with other people. A whole company can also go under during a time like this and be replaced by a very minimalist new company. So this is what I've been talking about for a while, minimalism and taking things down to a minimum, simply because it leaves more room for true quantum potential, and not to have to be clad with many things in order to just choose one. And how little do we really need here? How little do we really perhaps also understand as well, which is why perhaps sometimes we have to have all these different things helping us choose or helping us see. But yeah, unless you're really dreamy and you're really lucid and you're really loose, sometimes it is difficult for such a month and such a year. Because to become on this level, to really embody and to really enjoy this new reality that has been exposed to us, or it's already starting to expose itself since the Sun has touched on Uranus, this sometimes is very difficult for most of us to really allow, to afford, simply out of this need, this very interesting need to realize things and to really understand what they are, to count our money, to count everything, to weigh things up. So if you're a very dreamy person, if you are lucid, and if you're kind of like silky and you kind of walk through life as if like you're a veil upon air, as if you're like a dragon, sort of like swimming through the ocean, or through the sky, as if you are kind of like the slip and slide, feather on the wind, something, like unless you can be this person, sometimes it is hard to really notice the realities and the dreams and the suggestions and the compensative cycles, or like karmic retrieval, like the gifts and all these types of cycles that are happening. Because when you're too strong about who you are, if you're too strong about your senses, also, if you're still trying to legitimize things and put them into a nice sort of pocket, and if you are really afraid of getting things wrong, or being in the dark about certain things, if you still basically have a need for control and power and social outcomes, if you still want to know what people think about you, if you're still really stuck on certain things with certain people, it is not easy. So the hardest thing here is to know sometimes this is where you see, okay, the way, this is where you see. The hardest thing is to notice that you are too rigid and too stuck in your ways to accept life, that you are too hard-nosed and too old-fashioned, or you are just too stuck on stuff from the past to be able to say yes, and that you have maybe not enough capacity, not enough room, not enough light, because you've overstructured or you have overassumed previous reality spectrums. And that's when you need to let go. And sometimes also because of this particular Neptune, the stars, or all things happening in Aries, like 12th house stuff, you can afford to lie. So here it is, how can I say, fake it till you make it type of thing. So yeah, with these retrogrades, you can say, okay, sure, like my usual stories, like say I've been abused, I've been put away, like, I've had a lot of hardship in my past. And maybe that deems me sometimes irresponsible for how things go seemingly with relationships and friends and social commutes. But no, I can see, I can maybe lie about it during this time and say, I've had the most perfect childhood, I'm the most perfect baby, I'm the most perfect adult, I'm the most perfect person, and that is a lie. But during this particular time, this can actually heal you more than ever. So saying, I'm going to choose to fake it this time. Say, I've had a terrible marriage and now I'm single and this other person has come into my world, and it is just all too good to be true. And I'm not going to say, oh, no, it's too good to be true, I'm not participating. I'm going to say, I've had the most perfect marriage and now I'm ready for another perfect marriage, or like I'm ready to perfect myself even further through a new marriage. There's going to be time and place for that though. So if you are at a certain energetic lull, there's a special beat, there's a special meter for some people for this. This is not for everybody all the time. During this particular month, you can kind of like affirm yourself through affirmations and through kind of like faking it, making it through faking it. You can do it. And sometimes, yeah, faking things a lot will not help, and perhaps will not even be able to happen, because I feel that we are very, very enormous in our sensitivities. And even though somebody could be like looking like a star or feeling very positive to us, we can also tell somebody's doing this to an excess. But yeah, for some people, faking or kind of like hiding their previous hardship and trying to change the way that they see their light and their soul, changing how they see themselves, can actually help a lot of many things happen. And some of us, yeah, we can wish it true. We can say, I'm honest now, or like I'm loving now, or I'm caring now, I'm open now, even though we might not be. So affirmations, yeah, also If you don't mind, please consider sound, touch, and feeling. This is not for every person, but sometimes binaural beats, affirmations, also, it's like ancient psychology, like all of this stuff. Subliminal messages for some of us work, but this is not really about healing now. It is basically the quicker momentum that allows us to put things into place really fast and to create a really new sense of self. But you have to be quick. And if you can't be quick, if you're stuck on certain things, that's fine, but just learn from it. So thank you very much. If you'd like to see your own sign, I'm going to do videos for every single sign from Aries to Pisces for this month. I'm not going to put them on YouTube. At this point in time, I'm putting all my stuff on Patreon because I'm going to perhaps create a slightly different content and change things around. So if you're interested in this type of reading for your particular sign from Aries to Pisces, please have a look at the links below. Also, I'm here. I'm here doing music. I'm doing music now. So it so happened that people found me and been using my materials, and I didn't even know. I wasn't even aware. So now I'm ready to accept it. I've got a little bit of music on my SoundCloud. I don't usually put some, to put too much stuff there, but I'll be putting up maybe more stuff. Also, I've got a link to a couple of songs here. There should be all the links below. If you like the way I talk, if you like my material, there's lots of books. I've written a few books, and they're all available on my website, links below. And if you like my Instagram already, you might be already taking advantage of my daily insights, which I'm going to be putting on there every day. And yes, so if you like, please take a look. Instagram is a new thing for me. I've not really developed it, so I'm just starting to develop it. Yeah, a bit late. But yeah, if you'd like, also take a look at my website. If you'd like a reading, if you'd like to follow me on Facebook, anything like that, is all in the links below. And yes, if you'd like to connect, get in touch, it's all in the links. So thank you very much. Enjoy, and I hope that you have a beautiful month. Find your sign on Patreon, and love yourselves. Bye.